Lionel Redguard sat awake, late into the night. The sound still echoed in his mind, a memory that he could not stop reliving. The cold unfeeling "no," and the sound of slashing Valyrian steel. Daenys Corbury had murdered Lister after he had asked for mercy. Lister had been Lionel's friend and king, which made the loss hurt all the more. His friend was gone, but the memories remained. All of the good times when they were children at Sevensport, when Lister had granted him his lordship, and the years where he had acted as an advisor where he gave counsel to his friend. Lister had been a good king, and if he had lived he could have brought about the greatest age of prosperity in Andalia, healing the wounds of the previous age of instability. However, this new age would not happen now. Men spoke of justice and the ways in which Daenys should be executed and tortured as he now sat in the dungeons of Sevensport. Justice would not undo his crimes. Andalia had lost its king. Benfrey had lost his father, while Lionel and others had lost a dear friend. Now Benfrey sat on the throne, just a child and younger than Lister had been. Because of his age, the young king was bound to face greater struggles. Already lords across the realm plotted to take advantage of the new king and even tried to depose him. He had even heard of plotting from a close friend. Aengar, who had been Lister's brother and another friend of Lionel's, had sent a letter deep into the night. He claimed Benfrey was a bastard and not Lister's son, and asked for support in his claim. Aengar offered titles and honours for supporting him over the boy. Perhaps these claims were true, or perhaps they were more convenient. Aengar was a good man and would be a good king, but only if he was the rightful monarch. Any actions to push himself as monarch would mean removing the child from the throne. Although he knew Lister and Alyssa were no true loves, he had seen no evidence previously that Benfrey was a bastard. Aengar would surely be better for the realm and be able to begin to bring it together more. But if these claims came from Aengar's ambition alone, it would be wrong to deny Benfrey the chance to grow into a great man as Lister had. The realm would surely suffer under Benfrey, and although Aengar would serve as regent, he would be much more effective on the throne. Lionel wished to do what was right, but the lines seemed to blur in his mind. Should he support his friend, a potential usurper, or allow the realm to see another period of instability? Many would see Aengar as a usurper, which would only cause more strife. Save the realm, or save the boy? Do what's right for the kingdom, or what is right for my conscience? These questions filled his head until he finally made his choice. Let the Father judge me if I am wrong, thought Lionel, as he sent a letter away by Raven into the dark night sky.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Citadel with me, Grand Maester Stitch, where we return to the Grand Kingdom of Andalia, which is in utter chaos at the moment. For the third time in living memory, a child monarch sits upon the wayward throne of Andalia. High King Benfrey at the age of 1 with his uncle, Prince Aengar of the Mother's Embrace, as his regent and hand of the king. Very similar to when his father sat the throne as a child, and Benfrey Highstar was, of course, the hand of the king and regent. Very, very different men, of course, So we've had utter chaos down in the Vale with Daenys Corbury, yet again, of course, but we do now have him imprisoned for the second time in quick succession. The first time he, of course, was released after winning his trial by combat against Lister himself, killing the king. And then for some strange reason that only CK2 game mechanics can explain, he decided to come to the funeral feast of that king that he had killed and got away with killing, and God knows why, and got arrested yet again, and then demanded a trial by combat. This time, not standing himself, he got his man, Lord Damien the Rash, Shycross of the Dragon's Den, to stand for him, and I actually thought that he died in the last episode, but it turns out he survived the trial by combat. Well, just about. Maybe he's going to die pretty soon. One-eyed, severely injured, one-handed, and he's also a drunkard, so he's got some pretty nasty health penalties. So there's a good chance he may die soon. I hope not, because he's a pretty cool character, to be honest. Pretty decent, well, was a decent fighter. Probably not anymore, but yeah, it would be a shame. Hopefully he doesn't die. So, the Corbury's are still trying to claim the Red Fort. That's still going on, that war. Obviously, we've got Dany's grandson, Lord Samwell, who is the Lord of Heartsholme, and who's probably going to inherit his titles if he gets the chance. And then his brother, Almin Corbury, who's only young, but he is a genius. So it would be interesting to see what develops with this character in the future. What else have we got? We've got the war going on in the Sisters still, which has been going on for quite a while. It's a bit of a stalemate between the Snowfalls and the Longthorpe, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then we've got a bit of a stalemate between the Mudds and the Red Wolves for the High Lordship of Seaguard as well, and that's about it, really. There is a plot being made by Aengar, our uncle, who is currently investigating the legitimacy of Benfrey. We've had this going on for a while. We don't know whether Benfrey is a trueborn son. Of course, his mother, who is a Bloom, I'm pretty sure his mother's a Bloom. Let's have a look. Yes, Empress Dowager Queen Alyssa Bloom, who is a genius and attractive, but she hated Lister. They didn't like each other at all, and she didn't finally fall pregnant until Lister was away on a foreign tour. So yeah, there's a lot of suspicion about the legitimacy of Benfrey, and it looks like Aengar thinks that that's not the case. He's got a plot going on which has got like a ridiculous amount of backing power, so it looks like the people of Andalia also don't believe the legitimacy of Benfrey. So if Aengar does press that claim, I believe it may, and we have our heir is Aengar, and we don't have any other land, so that will end the game. But as always, as we've already said, we will rule as the 7-star monarch. So if Aengar does press his claim, we will switch to Aengar, and then we will have Aengar the Third. If not, we will stay with Benfrey. So we'll see what happens. Of course, if another house overthrows the 7 stars, as we've said all along, we remain as the 7 stars and try and regain the crown. But as it's 7-star to a 7-star, we will change to the ruling 7-star. High King Benfrey. Lord Dany's Corbury has been kept in captivity long enough. I demand that he is set free, else you shall face my wrath. Regards, Lord Yorick Templeton of Wickedon. Ah, yes, one of the many puppets of Dany's Corbury, along with a hell of a lot of the Vale. So, no, we won't be threatened. We are going to be making decisions based on what we think Aengar would do. Aengar would not back down to that. There's no way he's going to let Dany's Corbury go free when he's finally got his hands on him. We do need to decide what to do with Dany's Corbury. I still don't know. You guys had very mixed ideas. The wall, kill him, castrate him was one, make him court jester, which I did like that idea, to be fair. So, yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do with him just yet. We'll let him stew in imprisonment just for a little while. I did notice that the Starks are down to their last Stark, pretty much, so they could soon go extinct, which would be interesting, but they've been flirting with extinction for quite some time now. Your Grace, my mission to Pike has so far been a success. During my visit to the court of Lord Paramount Othar Greyjoy of the Iron Islands, I seem to have managed to make him understand what a benevolent and peaceful ruler you really are. He sends his regards, your humble Master of Lords, Lord Aengar Seymour of Willowwood. Perfect. Great news. Keep the Ironborn close. We may have need of their ships if all goes south. Our council is in discontent, which is not good. I don't think there's really anything we can do decision-wise at the moment. Lady Jessamine of the Dreadfort used a favour on Priest William of Snowdale to force him to join all of their factions. Okay. Yeah, there's not a lot that we can do at the moment. Gnome plots. There's a hell of a lot of plots going on. Don't think there's really any against us other than that Aengar one, which will be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, the rest though are not really anything to do with us, so. And our money just increases so fast. Monthly balance plus 17 gold near enough. That's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It looks like the Red Forts are losing quite heavily, so that war's probably going to be over soon in the Corbury favour, which will give them another massive chunk of the Vale. Lord Todrick the Devout of Cape Kraken, now known as the Devout. Interesting. That is the one Ironborn that we have there. There's a lot of gay characters around at the moment, which I've noticed, which is pretty cool. Fearsome. This character has a scary reputation, attracting the mightiest of warriors to his side. Heavy foot. Okay, interesting. Cool. But yeah, I noticed that we have a lot of gay characters around at the moment, which is interesting. Right. I think I'm going to premiere the episodes of the Knights of Andalia every week from now on. It went really well, and I really enjoyed seeing everyone's reactions live, so I think we will do that from now on. You guys seem to enjoy it, so yeah, why not? We'll do that every Saturday from now on. The series is going to be back every Saturday now, hopefully. And at the age of 56, your great aunt, Pia the Vixen, has died. No, of cancer. Now, I am absolutely devastated about that. One of my favourite female characters, I think, in the entirety of the Knights of Andalia was Pia. That's devastating. And yet another one of Aengar II's children has passed. I think his oldest one is still alive, Adara Snow, which is interesting. But yeah, a hell of a lot of them are dead now. Her son, Lord Rogar Snow, Sweetblood of Dartmoor, is still alive, though, with his 2 sons as well. So her family name does carry on, which is good to see. And Chris has made his daily appearance in the video, as usual, down in the bottom corner. So we now need a new bodyguard now that our aunt is dead, and a new captain of the bodyguard. Well, we'll definitely go with Norbert Seymour. He's very impressive. Captain of the household guard. Could go with Norbert. Oh, who's this Ryan? Is he not a... Yes, he is a bodyguard. I think we will go with Norbert Seymour, to be honest. He's pretty decent. We need a master of the hunt as well. Let's go for Aengar Seymour. The Seymours seem to be quite a favourite of the monarchs at the moment, and we need a high almoner. Let's go for who else do we have here? Let's go for our Uncle Aengar. Paramount Knight. We need a new Paramount Knight. Who do we go with for the Paramount Knight? I suppose it should be Benfrey Lancer, really, shouldn't it? He's absolutely ridiculous, so yeah, we'll go for him. Do we need a new commander as well? Yes, we do. Wow, we've lost a lot of positions. That I didn't realise how many positions our Aunt Pia actually fulfilled. So we need a new commander. Who have we got? Not really anyone. Oh, Mother, apparently, which is interesting. Not really many decent commanders left in Andalia at the moment, it would seem. Mendleton. Are the Mendletons still around? I thought they died out a hell of a long time ago. We've got John Seymour here, who's a skilled commander and an inspiring leader. He'll do. Lord Allard of Oldcastle has inherited Lordship of Oldcastle from Lord Offen the Just. Oh. Lord Offen the Just of Oldcastle has died comatose in bed. That was the inbred guy, wasn't it? Yes, unfortunately. So we've got Lord Allard. Oh, okay. So even though he had an inbred father, he's quick and attractive. Interesting. So maybe the Blooms will go back to being half decent again. It's been a while. It means we do have an open council position. We need a new advisor. Well, we're not going to go for Yorick Templeton, are we? Considering he's threatening us at the moment. Let's go for Danes High Oak, who was a close friend of our father's. And the war's still going on in Sisters, the war's still going on here. Yeah, lots of stuff still kicking off, and our money's just improving massively all the time, as we said. We've got a child lacking in education focus, Michella Bloom, a 12-year-old daughter of Ermin Bloom. Oh, yes, our mother's, not our mother, our grandmother's ward, Leanne. Oh, God, time passes so quickly. Well, she's very impressive in Marshall, so we'll go for the Marshall. Pia Snow would have been a perfect guardian for her, but she's not around anymore, so it's probably going to be Nana Harlaw, isn't it? Let's give her a female knight as her ruler. Travellers bring rumours of fire and blood. I do not care. Prince Aengar Sevenstar, the Lord Regent, has assembled your court and council. He has been plotting against you, it seems, for he is claiming you to be a bastard and not the legitimate child of Lister Sevenstar. He is using his power and flimsy evidence to have you deposed, seizing Andalia for himself. Now, I do think this will result in a game over, so let's swap to Aengar quickly to ensure that doesn't happen. We don't want to lose the game here, do we? We want to carry on the Knights of Andalia.
So, it is agreed then. Aengar spoke to the gathered lords and knights. The day that he had anticipated and dreaded had finally arrived. This was more difficult than anything he had done prior. This was more difficult than watching his brother get murdered. This was treason. It went against the oaths that he had sworn. But then again, would it be more treacherous to do nothing? No bastard would ever sit upon the throne of House Sevenstar as long as he lived. The evidence is irrefutable, replied his uncle, the Grand Maester. On the table in front of them lay the information that they had gathered. You are the rightful king, by all laws of gods and men. We must act now for the good of the realm. My spies have given me the needed information. The affair that the Queen had proves this, as she has seen her lover more frequently after her husband's death. Whore! Gave Hilario in the conversation. Enga raised a hand, a stern look at all of them. Whilst what she did is wrong, let us not forget that neither were faithful in this marriage. My brother loved that peasant girl. You all knew it. He was a good man, but flawed. We should not forget his mistakes if we wish to strengthen Andalia once more. The Valyrian bastard backed down. A part of Enga thought that he was merely in this for the lands that he desired so desperately. But he needed the support of all that he could gather, even if some of these sat wrong with him. Norbert Seymour spoke up. My family is loyal to you, your grace. What are your orders? While Lord John had been a fool, his descendants proved impressive, and they had been the first that offered their support. Grand Maester, draft a declaration declaring that Benfrey is not the product of my brother, but a bastard born of an affair. Lord Lionel, you and your men will seize control of Sevensport and the castle. I want no deaths and treat them with care. These are good men. They have merely been lied to. Sir Norbert, Sir Lucius, you shall escort me along with others to secure the bastard and the rest of the council. Nods and murmurs of approval came from the room, as Enga stood with several knights following him. Many of the men in the castle had been chosen by him, but the Queen kept her own loyalists. Those would prove the biggest issue. This was also why they had met within this inn rather than the castle itself. The actions happened quickly and without much hurt. The men that Lionel had brought had been staying within the city walls, and now that choice had come to good use. As they rode up to the castle of the Sevenstars, the guards did not bear the markings of the city watch, but rather the swords of House Redguard. The gates were opened, and he was able to see many men gathered in confusion. Their weapons had been taken from them. Entering the castle, a mild madness had taken grip. Confused shouts and screams came from all corners, as men loyal to the Queen were seized or, if needed, killed. Approaching the chambers where the boy was held, two guards with the colours of House Bloom stood in front of them. Move aside, men. We have no quarrel with you and wish you no harm, Enga said with a stern voice and raising his hands as a gesture of peace, yet his gaze remained cold. Nothing. Then they flashed their steel and Enga's knights drew their own before the king had even gripped his hilt. We have our own orders. We know you plan to betray the king. Before the last words were spoken, the two men charged towards them with Sir Norbert charging against them, while Sir Lucius stood ahead of Engar to protect him. A few quick clashes and one of the men lay dead on the floor at the hands of the Seymour, while Lucius Mallister used the distraction of the other guard to strike him down. The two men looked at their king, who had his own sword drawn, and gave each a nod, before they moved forward. The knights pushed open the doors to the room as they rushed in forward as Engar moved into the room. They found the bastard on the floor asleep. Next to him stood Ermund Bloom, sword raised. Not a step closer, he warned. With a motion of the hand, Sir Lucius rushed forward and knocked the sword out of the Bloom's hand. Where is the Queen? Enga demanded as he picked up the bastard. Gone, answered Ermund. Damn the seven. The rest of the days passed in a blur as they managed to secure the castle, with only a few men dead. Danes Corbury managed to escape, but was captured some days later trying to escape the city. No war was declared, however, and as the week had passed, King Enga, the third of his name, was known as the only king of Andalia.
King Enga III of Andalia has usurped the title Lordship of Bear Island from Benfrey Snow, the Lordship of Sevensport, the title Lordship of Old Andalia, has usurped the title Kingdom of Andalia, Kingdom of the Neck, Kingdom of the Rivers and Hills, Kingdom of the Mountain and Vale, Kingdom of Andalia. You have seized Sevensport and with it control the Bank of the Crown. Exile residents of the city have lost their share and now you must decide what to do with the bank. I will take my place as a shareholder, take my due in coin. Wow, we can get a lot of coin, but no, we want to keep the bank going, so we'll take our place as a shareholder. And after seizing the Kingdom of the Rivers and Hills, you have captured the treasury of the disposed King Benfrey Snow. Okay. Enga Sevenstar has had Dragonbone sword added to their treasury, along with a shit ton of other stuff. You have a new heir. If your character dies now, you will play as Prince Florian of Andalia. Right, so we've got a hell of a lot of stuff to get through now then, as High King Enga III of Andalia, the 19-year-old king. Apparently we're a tyrant. What other traits do we have? It's been a while since we looked at him. So we're a competent steward, trained fighter, a knight, A tyrant, authoritative, cynical, just, chaste, honest, stubborn, ruthless, brave, and patient. How is our son looking? 3 martial, 2 stewardship. He's only 3 years old. Well, he's got mainly martial. Let's give him a struggle focus. Actually, not struggle. Let's go for pride. Can we not change that now? I think it's too late. Never mind. Well, we'll find him a guardian once he gets a little bit older. Right, so we need to do a load of stuff now as Enger. What have we got? So we need to pick an ambition. Become exalted amongst men. Fall in love. Have a daughter. Have 5 children. Expand realm by conquest. See the realm prosper. Let's go for have a daughter. We need to secure our line. Let's get more children. We've got our son, Prince Florian. Let's get ourselves a daughter. Of course, we've got a hell of a lot of stuff in our treasury now. So let's equip the Valyrian Steel Sword of House Sevenstar. Where is Mother's Mercy? Did we not actually get Mother's Mercy? Where's Mother's Mercy? Is that still in Benfrey's possession? I'm guessing he's now imprisoned by hers. Yes, he is. So, Benfrey Snow, treasurer. Yeah, he's still got that in his treasury. So, let's seize valuable artifact. We want Mother's Mercy for ourselves. Thank you very much. And we'll take ice as well. I always forget that we actually have ice. So we can't actually take that because that's not his. Okay, but we'll get that once we banish him. So he is a bastard now. Benfrey Snow. Alyssa Bloom, has she actually escaped court? Yes, she... Wow, where the hell are you? She's escaped over the narrow sea. You bitch. I wanted to execute her for what she did to our brother. Right, so we've got open council positions. We've got a lot of stuff that we need to now fill. Hand of the King. Yoren of Scorchvet. Well, no, we want a new Hand of the King of court. Oh my god, does this mean... How has Danes escaped? How? No, I don't want him as Hand of the King. So somehow, because we've done that, Danes escaped. That's alright, we're Enger now. We will just storm in and we'll take him by force. Right, so we need a Hand of the King. I believe Lionel Redguard is our close friend, but he's a decent steward as well. I don't know, even though I love Ermin Bloom, I don't think Enger's going to be over-trusting of the Blooms right now, so it's probably not a good idea. So, Hand of the King, we'll go with Lionel Redguard. He is our friend. Master of Laws, we have got Yorick Temple, Benfrey. We'll go for Enger Seymour. We'll keep them around. Master at Arms. Well, there's only one choice, isn't there? Let's be honest. It's Benfrey Lancer. Master of Coin. Obviously, we don't want Danes Corbury. We've got Hilario, Ermin, Offa Greyjoy. We don't want Ermin, considering... Well, do you know what? It might be time for Hilario to actually get a bit of spotlight. Our uncle. Why not? He seems to be good at what he does. Let's give him the chance. If he starts bitching and whinging about land again, no, then to the wall. You want land, you can go to the wall. Master of Whisperers, we've got the Riswell. Don't overly trust him, so I don't know if Enger would. Danes Corbury just comes up at the top for all of these. We need to go in and take care of Danes Corbury, though, don't we now, Berenger? Give him an end that he deserves. I don't know how he's escaped the imprisonment. I don't understand how that works. That's freaking stupid. Lady of Oldstones is pretty decent. 16. I don't trust this Riswell Lord, so... there's not really anybody else, so it may be a case that we might have to... We'll go for Lady Mud. Our Maester, of course, we want our Uncle Damon. And our Septon, well, he's slow, so we don't really want him, do we? He is the Septon of Snow, though, so he should be the Septon. Really. Let's perform charity. Serve the court, Uncle Damon. Collect taxes in Sevensport. We want you to... train the troops in Sevensport. Why is our capital not being moved? Right, let's sort that out first. We're going to need to make Sevensport a capital, of course. Of course, that's the capital. We'll keep that other bit of land for ourselves for now. Open council positions, we need a High Admiral, who will, of course, be the Greyjoy Lord, wherever he is. Where are you? No one else it can be. Of course it's got to be the Greyjoy. It's got to be the leader of the Iron Islands. We need an advisor. Who have we got that we're close to? Maybe Lord Royce might be a good choice. We'll go for Danes High Oak. He is one of our friends. And I think we will go for... Where has he gone? Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Lord Hugh of Runestone as well. For that other one. Minor titles. We need to collect... Wow, we've got a lot to get through. So we need a designated regent. No idea who... Probably Lionel, our friend. We'll go with him for our regent for now. Bodyguards. We need new bodyguards. Let's have a look what we've got. Nana Harlaw. John Seymour, he's not the best fighter though, is he? Unlike his brother, so probably not him. John Hornbreaker, very skilled fighter. Pate Hall's pretty good. Pate Stone, another bodyguard. Who have we got? Lucius Malister, who I think was one of our friends, wasn't he? He's a skilled fighter. Yeah, he was our brother's friend. And I think I might go for John Seymour as well. Not the John Seymour, of course, who is long gone now. Master of the Swans. Who do we need to get on side? Who likes us? Let's keep these people who do like us on side. Let's go for Enger Seymour. Master of the Horse. Let's have a look what we've got. Who likes us? Let's go for Medgar Rack, our friend. Master of the Hunt. Ambrose, is that our father? Yes, it is. Let's go for our father then. High Almoner. Who have we got? Miguel Firehand, Miguel Snow, Mega Rack. What a name. What a name. Let's go for Danis High Oak, our other friend, our cupbearer. Who can we trust to be our cupbearer? Let's go for our Uncle Damon. We can trust him. Paramount Knight. Benfrey Lancer, of course. King's Justice. Someone not highborn would be better for this, I prefer, to be honest. Let's have a look. Who can we trust that's not highborn? We must have somebody. Who's this Biome guy? He can do it. And commanders, wow, we've got all very weak commanders. Let's go for John Hornbreaker. We need to invest in commanders, it would seem. Lord Mouton, he's pretty good, of Salt Pans. We don't want Danes. Sansa Firehand's a decent commander. Who else have we got? Maester Damon. I love how Damon is also just a beast commander as well, because why not? Got this Dondarian Lord, he might be okay. I don't know who this Ramsey is, but we'll get rid of him. Joe Rack. Three more decent commanders. Danes High Oak. Ambrose, our father. At least one more position for a commander. Let's have a look what we've got. Someone with actual decent commanding traits would be preferable. We've got Lord Royce. Let's go for him, considering he's on the council. Okay. We need to organise a coronation. We need to get ourselves coronated as quickly as possible. Send for the most powerful septon in the realm. And we've got our prisoner Benfrey. What shall we do with him? I'm not going to execute him. We will put him in house arrest. And maybe when he is of age, it's not the child's fault. He's only 1 year old. The mother's the one that deserves to be punished. When he's of age, we could send him to become a septon, a maester, maybe send him to the wall, or we could send him to just be a soldier for House Bloom, where he comes from, something like that, who knows. We do have people owing us a favour. All hail his grace, Enger of the House Sevenstar, the third of his name, High King of the Trident, Lord of the Riverlands, Lord of the Seventh Port, and Protector of the Realm, blah, 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 same for the Vale. How many troops do we have? Wow, a decent amount. So, right, can we actually go against Danis Corbury? Can we not actually declare war on him? Come on, you're having a laugh. Seriously? Can we try and revoke his titles, which will make him fight against us? It will upset other vassals. My god, look at all the ones that he's got, and he's about to get another one. Commanding to end his war. Your Grace, I'm afraid that I cannot end this war. My cause is just, and as such I have no right to command me to stand down. He will be branded as a traitor. I will have him arrested for treason. Dane is now safely locked away in my dungeon awaiting his fate, as he should be. It was ridiculous that he got away in the first place, so at least we can now take revenge on him. To the excellent High King Enger III of Andalia, I shall be honoured to officiate his Grace's coronation. I eagerly await his Grace's instructions regarding the date and manner of the ceremony in order to better prepare myself for this sacred duty. Marvellous. Now that I've found a faith of the 7 priests willing to crown me, I must decide how much I wish to spend on this ceremony. A dignified ceremony will do. We're not going to go over the top. I don't think that's Enger at all. Right. Danes the Wise, what can we do with you? We can now command you to end your war. And you've got no choice. So that saves House Redfort. Can we revoke titles and get away with it? This will lower Lord Danes' opinion of you by 60. Since Lord Danes is a traitor, our vassals will not object. Perfect. So let's take that away from you. What else can we take away from you? High Lordship. This will upset other people, though. So we can't take them away. We're going to have to let your grandson keep that land, which is rather infuriating. We can exile you. Can we not execute? Yep, we can execute you. But in House of Res, seize valuable artifact. Can we take Lady Forlorn? No, it won't allow us. I didn't think it would. Can banish you to the Night's Watch. I think that's too good for him. But I feel death's too good for him as well. It's a shame that we can't do worse to him. We can humiliate him. Can't torture him though. Is your opinion? You can choose to publicly humiliate him as punishment for his crimes. It would be good to do that and then do something to him afterwards. Just take his pride away. Do you know what? Considering that we can't torture him or castrate him or do anything like that, I still do feel the wall is too good for him. He's only 54. Feels like he's been around forever. It really does feel like he's been around forever. I don't know what to do. I can't make my mind up. I really can't make my mind up. I feel like death is too good for him, and I feel like the Night's Watch is too good for him. Can we actually make him our court gesture, just for the fun of it? I don't know if it'll allow us to do that. Maybe if he's in a house arrest, it would allow us to do that. No, it doesn't seem like we can do that. That's a shame. I don't know what to do with him. Guys, what do we do with him? I need you guys to decide what we do with him. We will keep him. He's in our prison for now. What would Enger do with him? Enger will take care of the traitors and anyone who is going against us. So what have we got here? We've got loads of issues here by the looks of it. The time of my coronation draws near, only a few more days before I am crowned High King before the gods and all my subjects. My court has been already filled with all the vassals of my realm who have come to bear witness to this fundamental moment of my reign. It will never be soon enough. Okay, so we've got Benfrey for Andalia, Independence from the Sisters, Benfrey for the Mountain and Vale, Benfrey for the Rivers and Hills, Lower Crown Authority, and John for the Rivers and Hills. John who? John Mudd. Okay, interesting. Interesting that people want the Mudds back in charge after well over 100 years of being out of power. This morning, a curious visitor came to my court. He is a wandering knight who travelled to Sevenstar after hearing news of my upcoming coronation. He has proclaimed that he wishes to pledge his sword to my service. He is ready and eager to serve High King as wise and renowned as I am to his death. You are welcome. But I don't think anyone even showed up, which is weird, which is a shame. It would have been nice to get some air. Okay, so we've got a few people that actually owe us favours. Meeting new rulers and exchanging ideas about politics and royal virtues has been an interesting consequence of this ceremony. Everybody has at least one anecdote to share with me about the proper way to rule a kingdom. I wonder which is closer to the truth. Fostering good relations with one's neighbours and subjects is paramount, or proper handling of the realm's finances. What are we better? We're better in stewardship than diplomacy. We're actually pretty good in diplomacy, martial, and stewardship, to be fair. Enger's not that bad all round. It's actually pretty decent. Let's stick with the stewardship, just because we're so good at stewardship. Why not? Let's stick with that. Did we equip Mother's Mercy? Should be equipped. No, it needs to be equipped. Of course it needs to be equipped. Perfect, that's better. Need to have the Valyrian Steel Sword of our house equipped. And what have we got here? Invited to a plot to kill Lady Malera Flowers. Who the hell is Lady Malera Flowers of House Court? Okay. No, I'm going to decline because I don't see... Got a dangerous faction. Which one? None of these look that dangerous. Am I missing one? Yeah, none of those are overly... 71% here. Benfrey for the Rivers and Hills by Lady Alyssane the Rash. Okay, Benfrey Snow. Who High Lordship of Wayfarer's Rest. He's still in our court though, isn't he? Yes, he is. We do have Bear Island though as a bit of an exile, bit of land to give away. I don't know what we want to do with that. So we could have a faction kicking off, which would be good. It'd be good to have some wars. Right. We still need to deal with you. Coronation of High King Henry III. I kneel before Septon Rouge as a host of lords surround us in complete silence. The Septon blesses me and places the crown upon my head, proclaiming me High King of Andalia by grace of the gods. I am finally and truly High King. Perfect. So that sorts that out. That will hopefully keep people in line a little bit better. Your Grace, for some time now I've been in the employ of Lord Enger, but now I seek a better station. I humbly request to join you in Sevensport. Sir Arlen Seymour. Wow, look at that intrigue. I accept. We need people like you. Well, there we go. That will be our council position sorted for that. Sorry, Lady Mudd, but freaking Arlen Seymour is a much better spy master. Freaking hell, how the Seymours have rised from having the most dim-witted and stupid lord of all time to having 2 members of the King's Council, members of the King's Guard, members of the Royal Army. Like, the Seymours have suddenly become very competent after being completely useless for such a long time. Representatives of Benfrey have requested an audience with you. Upon meeting with them before the court, you hear they are offering to pay the ransom for Benfrey's release using his own personal wealth. Wow, 145 gold, but no, I think he'll stay in my custody for now. I don't think we're falling for that. We don't want any plots of people trying to put him upon the crown. We've already got that. Lord Daney's for Mountain in Vale, led by Lord of the Bloody Gate. Okay, we need to do something with him then, don't we? We need to get rid of him. So we're going to have 2 wars at once. Do you know what? Your Grace, I'm going to have to make the decision. It's a hard decision to make. I really don't know what to do with him. Wow, he's got 20,000 men. That could be massively, massively problematic if him and the Riverlands were both to rebel at once. We're going to have to do something with him, aren't we? We can call him for trial. I think that's too risky. It's way too risky to do that. I wouldn't trust that at all. Send him to the Night's Watch, of course. We're going to have to execute him, aren't we? Do it. Is there any more? Your Grace, Lord Daney's corporation has been brought before yourself for execution. How should he be dispatched? Beheaded, hanged, hung, drawn, and quartered. There we go. Lord Samuel of the Fingers is inherited High Lordship of the Fingers and other titles from Daney's the Wise. But at least he's now dealt with in the most brutal way that we can do. I would have liked to have gone a bit more brutal, but unfortunately the game won't allow it because of Enger being just. That faction is worrying, but at least it's took care of Daney's corporate now. But that's got a lot of backing. Who is backing it? Belmore, the Iron Islands, and Benfrey the Bear. Okay, as well as some of the Riverlands as well. So that's worrying. That is slightly worrying. We are going to have stuff there to deal with. Have we got any... I don't care about dragons. Go away. Have we got any decisions that we can do? We can hold a tourney. Now is probably not the time. And I don't think that's going to be Enger's style either. I do not care about dragons. My goodness. We do need to get our Spy Master doing something. And we also need to get our Master of Lords doing something. So let's try and improve diplomatic relations with Benfrey the Bear. See if we can get him on side. Can you just oversee the realm for now? Our Hand of the King. And our Spy Master, let's... scheme in the Lance as well. Let's try and get Benfrey on side. I don't really want to be going against an army led by Benfrey. Could be quite worrying if that were to happen. How are things looking down south now? Pretty much the same as they were. The Westlands is huge. Stormlands split in 2. The North is weak. Yeah, there's not a lot going on. How is this war in the Sisters going? 100% in favour of Lord Longfort. So that's probably going to end pretty soon. I do not care about dragons. Go away. So that's probably going to end soon. How is the war between Red Wolf and Mud going? 19% in favour of the Lady of Oldstone. So that could also work in our favour as well, Ellard Red Wolf. So if she gets dispossessed of the High Lordship, that could work in our favour as well, stopping them fighting against us. So the Iron Islands being in that plot is worrying, because that means that they could probably seek independence as well. Your Grace, I collected ample tax revenue in Sevenstar. The money should reach you together with this letter. 100 gold. Very nice. We are in need of gold at the moment, so that's great to see. Lots for Benfrey, so some people may all sort of go to that at the same time. Sir Arlen Seymour, I believe that one of your vassals can be discouraged from associating with conspiratorial factions if the proper leverage is used. Let's obligate the vassal. I don't really want to threaten Benfrey land, so we'll probably rip our head off, but we'll try and obligate him. Then again, I don't think Enger would be overly scared. If all men were patient, surely there would be less strife. There are people in my court who are quick to anger, and who may need a patient voice to calm them down. Listen to him patiently, reason with them. Let's listen to him patiently, that seems the better option. And a party of soldiers flying the banners of Lord Lionel of the Crone's Crossing recently set up camp in the middle of a field belonging to a farmer in Sevenstar. According to the farmer, their campfire spread out of control and the entire crop was reduced to ashes. He has brought the matter before your court and demands compensation. Lord Lionel is to compensate the farmer. We'll upset him and he's our friend. The fire was a divine act, not responsible. I shall pay the farmer out of my own coffers. We'll do that because we don't want to upset our friend, but we can't treat the small folk badly either. And we do have gold, so we'll pay that. We need to keep him on side. We've not got many people on side. I've had a good friend in Sir Marwyn, and it saddens my heart that he thinks no longer we have anything in common. That could be because we've just killed your father. If you don't want me as a friend, then you're my rival. Okay, I'll miss you. Thank you for reminding me of my duties and obligations as your vassal. You are right, of course. For the foreseeable future, you have my promise not to support factions conspiring against you. Benfrey the Bear. Very good. Perfect. Good to hear. So that hopefully weakens that faction. No, it's still pretty strong, unfortunately. Rodwell of Sherwell Peasant Revolt was declared Peasant Revolt on Engar, and we've got another Peasant Revolt. Okay, so we've got 2 peasant revolts, and a Dangerant revolt has broke out on Bear Island. Okay, many prominent first-man landholders have raised an army of peasants trained and led by a corps of soldiers. Okay, so we've got 2 little peasant revolts as well to take care of. But I think we will end this episode here, guys. A lot has happened. Let's just let things settle and see what's actually kicking off before we go any further. Thank you all so much for watching as always, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to also join the Discord server if you haven't already. You should have done that by now. Honestly, we've got an amazing community there. We'd love to have you as part of it. Thank you all so much once more, and I'll see you all very soon for the next episode.
Family. The family name is what endures, but what does one do when your family is put in jeopardy by a member of your own family? This is what I faced in my father. Though I loved him, he had no spine. John the Unready, the broken branch. Huh, my father. He dispensed of our rights as lords as bloodlessly as he did our gold, in huge loans to vassals and neighbouring lords. But his weakness was not solely to blame. Lord Agramore Hardsteel, Lord of Wickham and Castellan of Willowwood, ruled my family's seat in all but name, filling court with his kin and men of his own choosing, even being so bold as to raise his banner above that of my own house's golden tree, flapping mockingly in the wind, a fabric reminder of our house's decline. Alas, I turned 10 and 6, a man grown, as did my brother the heir, Engar, only a few years earlier, along with Carl and Arlen. As 4 brothers returned to Willowwood at an opportune hour, Lord Agramore was gone back to his land to deal with unrest. Seymours were never meant to balk from opportunity. It was opportunity that brought us to the banks of the Green Fork. We acted. Raising some 300 knights and light cavalry with the famed detachment of Willowwood Rangers with some heavy foot led by myself. We marched north first to gather the gold and gain the submission of that yellow-bellied Lord Stark. Not a Stark of any significance, but a branch house. With his submission, we departed gold in hand and the loyalty of House Stark of Chiltern secured. We made our way north along the Green Fork and set up battle lines in anticipation of the deceitful Lord Hardsteel, an opportune battlefield with a dense wood to one side and the deep rushing banks of the Trident to the other. A day and a night had passed on that brisk dewy morn, the fog so thick water droplets caught on my armour and brow. We caught a glimpse of some 1,000 men led by Lord Hardsteel himself, returning from the unrest in his land. My brother Engar grabbed his bow and fired a singular arrow aflame, as is the custom of House Seymour to fire one singular arrow to lay down the challenge of battle. And battle lines were drawn, but only our foot lay at the base of that flat dewy plain. I was with the cavalry in the tall trees, hidden by the cascading branches of the willow trees, and in those self-same trees lay the rangers in their swamp-green hoods. Lord Agramore seemed to chuckle and galloped forward. Engar answered and rode along with our brother Arlen. "What is this, boy?" Lord Hardsteel's voice boomed across the plain in a turmoil of echoes. "Have you taken leave of your senses? Disperse this rabble. I have more than 2 times your number." The arrow that Engar had fired lay between them, its last embers hissing in the wind, their 2 banners flapping sodden in the wind. "Lord Agramore, I am here to place you under arrest for high treason against our realm that is Willowwood." Engar let out somewhat timidly, trying his best to look a man shifting upright in his saddle. Agramore laughed his thunderous laugh and made his whole body shake, his fat cheeks jiggling with a snap. His face was still. "You think you can displace me, boy? No! I am lord here, you are your father's son, and I will rot before I bend my knee to any Seymour." His eyes fixed on Engar, piercingly, and shifted at a tremendous pace when Arlen spoke up. We would be happy to oblige, my lord. Our father is lord by right. It is treason to say otherwise. Arlen said, never once looking at Lord Harsteel, but inspecting his blade in a composed, uncaring way. At this point, Agramore turned and pointed at his spears and banners of his men stood high in the air. Fuck your right. Those men, those are my right. Disperse, bend your knees, or die, he said, starting softly and ending in a snarl. Enger, without so much of a word, turned and galloped away. Arlen faced his proud fat lord and announced, Make your peace with the gods. Tonight you dine with the stranger, my lord. Enger arrived back at the lines of his men. Men of Willowwood, I beseech you now. Bestir yourselves, for now is our hour. For too long this Lord of Hardsteel has deprived me and you alike of our rights. Who remembers the days of old Willowwood, gleaming the jewel of the south? It is under this corruption that you suffer with me now. With me for a new tomorrow. Willowwood, Seymour. With that, forward went the small contingent of armoured foot. Agramore answered with a nonchalant wave of his hand, and his officers screeched in unison, Who holds the green fork? And to which the Hardsteel men answered, We do! As their horse moved ahead, their foot just behind, they met the Seymour lines, and vicious and bloody battle ensued for the best part of a half an hour. As I waited in the woods for all the Hardsteel men to commit, and then reached for my horn, the bejewelled aurochs horn plastered with emeralds and a dancing river of gold and the like of willow branches. I blasted it thrice, and the knights took up the call, and the first volley of arrows were loosed from the treetops by the rangers, cutting down the hard-steeled shield wall, making them weaker each turn as they fell like dominoes. And we burst from the forest, sword and lance in hand, as we crashed into the side of the shield wall. Not much need to be said, we drove them into the river as the battle lines wheeled. I slew Lord Hardsteel's own nephew, his head sliding off clandestinely. Just beyond his nephew, I saw Agramore himself duelling Carl. He dealt him a grievous blow across his face and down his chest. I pushed through the Hardsteeled vanguard, their horse balking and retreating, until I was left with Lord Hardsteel himself in full plate on foot. He charged me, and slipped. The ground had been made a bog by the weather and the thundering of hoofs. I could have cut him down and raised my blade to do so. Enger screamed, No! It is the gallows for him. We take him to Willowwood. We need to make a show of strength. Chain these prisoners. We'll march them through the streets of our city, the Emerald of Andalia. That was met with cheers so loud it felt as though the earth was parting. But I heard nothing but an incessant ringing as I stared at the man that had ruined my family. We entered the city expecting a rapturous welcome. Alas, I had overestimated my weak father. The city watch, some 2,000 men strong, pointed their spears from each side of the street, forming a corridor of pointed edges. And through them walked my father, unkempt and frail, walked by Lord Hardsteel's heir. Seize them, they've come for my seat. My sons have come to displace me, my father said, quivering all the while, the heir of Hardsteel whispering in his ear, and Lord Agramore was set free. Our punishment? We were all expressively disinherited in favour of Lord Hardsteel and his king. But Lord Hardsteel would die before our father, and we took back our rights. That is a tale for another day, however. All you must know is that Hardsteel and Stark bend the knee alike. But now my father is gone, and I serve a strong lord. I am King Enger's man, his Lord Commander. The time of procrastination and paranoia is gone, and my brother Enger sits as lord. The Ash City, as my home was called, now gleams once again, the Emerald of Andalia. But to those who have wronged us I speak directly to now. Our roots do not forget. Our roots are strong. Our roots are rigid. We are House Seymour, and our roots run rich.